And I'm Diane Ducey. Colleen Magnifico is joining me. Stevie J on a well-deserved break. His triplets, unbelievably, have just turned 20. It seems like yesterday when they were growing up, and I still sometimes look at them through, younger eyes and just can't believe how far they've progressed. Maria Luce is joining us on ESPN 93.5. How are you this morning, Maria?
Good morning to you and to all of the listeners.
I'm so glad you're telling us about nutrition these days. And now that we're kind of in a summer mode here in East Central Illinois, I know it's really tricky for me to stay ahead of things because we're moving so fast this summer and try to prepare healthy lunches. You said in the schools that there's been some lunch shaming going on. Explain.
It is a tragic trend that has become rampant, in which what happens is if children do not have any money on their lunch account, then what happens is schools will take their lunches away from them. Let's say it's their hot tray. They take it away from them and either deny them food totally or give them a cheese sandwich, a cold cheese sandwich, and milk. And that's all they get. But there are some cases where states have gone so far. I mean, in Arizona and Alabama, there are cases where on a third grader's arm, they stamp them that says, I need lunch money or just lunch money. So literally branding these students and humiliating them.
And then you've got people in their classes that are probably teasing them and everything else. Like, that's horrible.
Can you imagine? I mean, they put stickers on them. They put wristbands. They call them out in roll calls. And even in one case in Utah, they threw away. They took the hot lunch from the child once they got up to the register, if you will, and then took the hot tray away and threw away 40 lunches.
Wow.
Now, what kind of sense does that make? Not only are you now punishing the child, but now you're wasting that food, and now taxpayers are continuing to pick up that bill.
Okay, so, wow. But, okay, on the school's defense, I'm reading the statistics now. I'm sorry, I'm just catching up. I have like a step behind these days. Just getting my coffee in. Sorry, Maria Luce on ESPN.
No, I understand.
76% of the school districts across America say students are on school lunch debt. I mean, how are the schools supposed to make ends meet if they don't do something drastic?
You are absolutely right. I mean, first and foremost, this is a crisis from a debt perspective. And so that's very real, and that has to be addressed. So I don't think there's anyone out there that is actually suggesting, let's just forgive it and move on, because that's not how schools work.
Right.
I mean, it's just not possible to absorb all of that, nor is it acceptable for other tax-paying citizens that do pay their lunch bills to have to absorb either parents that are abusing the system or can't afford it. But in either case, what's happening is that the children are the ones getting punished for parents' behavior.
My thought, Maria, is maybe the parent-teacher organization, the PTO, should hear from the school that, or from administration, who is usually represented at these monthly meetings, that they should point out we're having a growing concern about the kids who aren't paying their lunch bill and what we should do about that, and maybe have some kind of support designed so that they can step in and have some kind of safety net,
right,
and do more point-to-point with the parent. They probably just don't know, and by the time the kid gets home, you're on to something else, it seems like. Now, the stamp on a kid's wrist to show that they owe money, I have never heard that before. I had heard about the cheese sandwich or peanut butter sandwich, at least to get the kids something in their tummy if they're not paying. And So this is a big concern. I know, for us in my community, we were talking about how, Michelle Obama had these nutritional lunches that she wanted to get going for our kids, which was a great idea. But we were having America's most expensive garbage can or something like that because the kids were just throwing away all the nutritional stuff because they want the chicken nuggets and the pizza. I mean, that's what at least they're eating something. So to me, that was the more of a big issue for school time lunch. But going into 76% of school districts across America having school lunch debt, that is a big concern too.
It's a huge concern, and there are ways to help. There are a lot of people have set up GoFundMe pages. There's also a program called School Lunch Fairy. There are opportunities to get involved. I think there could be some more sensitivity training on the part of the schools, just how to handle it with the students. But first of all, inform yourself. What does your school district do? What are their practices? And call your local representative to get these bills mandated. The good thing is that in April, New Mexico was the first to ban any of this practice of lunch shaming. California, Texas, Pennsylvania, New York are all looking at bills right now to ban the practice of it. I know that by July 1st is a deadline for all states to determine some sort of new policies on dealing with it. That doesn't mean we're erasing that debt because, like you said, and I completely agree, that's a very real cost that can't be absorbed. But the cost to the child, they shouldn't be the one, quote unquote, paying the price for adults' action or inaction.
If this has hit a chord with someone, Maria Luce on ESPN 93.5, can you give us a source where we can get more information from you to help get more active in these roles of lunch shaming?
Absolutely. Just go to theempoweredmom.com, and it's a community, and I'd love to hear from everyone out there, or on any social media platform. Facebook, it's the Empowered Mom page, or theempoweredmom.com. You can The Empowered Mom on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, everywhere. You can find me everywhere, and I would love to hear from you.
Just to hit what I was coming into the topic with on the summer lunches and staying nutritional, do you have a tip for moms like me with especially teenagers who just don't want anything but junk on how to sell nutritional food during the summer a little better?
And isn't that like one of those $64 million questions?
It is.
Right, because I have those teenagers as well. I think that you offer them a couple of different choices. Okay, well, you can have this or you can have this.
Okay.
And that's got to be part of a non-negotiable.
Okay.
Then, well, if you eat this nutritional piece, then you can have 2 Oreos or whatever.
Okay, I like it. And maybe to keep the sweet treats on lockdown while we're gone so that we can kind of monitor what kind of nutrition they're getting while we're gone. Maria Luce, thank you so much for joining us on ESPN 93.5.
Love being with you.
All right, you take care.